Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 TDSB International Day of Pink event. So glad that you're all here today. Thank you for coming. My name is Sherry Schwartz-Maltz. I am the Manager of Media and Issues for the TDSB, and it's been my pleasure and honor to support International Day of Pink for over 10 years. Today is the day that we stand up against discrimination directed at us LGBTQ+ communities. This year, we're also commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Brunswick Four, and their actions and what happened to them initiate a national conversation, a conversation right across the country about the rights of lesbians and queers. We're going to hear all about them. We're going to hear their whole story in a couple of minutes. We also welcome guest speakers from the TDSB, Toronto Police Service, and incredible, and when I say incredible, I've seen them, you're in for a treat, student performances from East York Collegiate Institute and Karen Kane School of the Arts. I would now like to welcome Carter Gross and Rafi Lehman Pleat Akande from Karen Kane School of the Arts to share the land acknowledgement.
We acknowledge that we are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat.
We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples.
Thank you, Carter and Rafi. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the Director of Education for the TDSB, the head of the TDSB. We love her. Here's Colleen Russell-Rollins to share some thoughts.
So good morning, students, staff, trustees, and community members. Today we've come together to celebrate the International Day of Pink. This day reminds us of the importance of standing up against homophobia, transphobia, bullying, and hatred of all kinds. Our world is currently filled with too much hate, and it's vital that each and every one of us respects the uniqueness of every individual and promotes a culture of meaningful inclusion and equity in our schools and communities. In our journey toward a more compassionate and respectful world, we are inspired by several powerful examples of resilience and courage. Today, I would like to speak to two such examples. Firstly, we are honored to have Lamar Van Dyke and Adrian Rosen with us to share their experiences. When the Brunswick Four stood up for themselves one evening 50 years ago, they were fighting for much more than their own humanity. Many people in Toronto, including us and future generations, enjoy many more rights and freedoms today because of their advocacy for human rights for the members of the 2S LGBTQ+ communities. Secondly, among these leaders of change are drag performers who fearlessly express themselves and show unwavering confidence in their dance performances or story time events. Their bold and glamorous identities celebrate self-expression and provide inspiration and empowerment for trans and gender diverse students, staff, and for all of us. To the students, I say, never underestimate the power of your voice in standing up against hate, whether online or in person. Your words, actions, and kindness can create ripple effects that can change and save and transform lives. Embrace who you are and celebrate your individuality. As adults, we are committed to building a world where you can always show up as your true self and feel confident that all parts of you are accepted. To the educators, I say you are one of the most important architects of this shared future we are building. Your commitment to equity, compassion, and nurturing critical thought are the building blocks of a society that not only includes but affirms 2S LGBTQ+ students, colleagues, and all students. You do this by confronting slurs such as the inappropriate use of the word gay, the N-word, using a student's chosen pronouns, and actively supporting your local gender sexuality alliance, Indigenous student groups, Muslim students associations, Jewish students associations, BSAs, and other student groups because our students hold intersecting identities. Please continue to care and offer protection to young people facing discrimination and harassment of any kind. Together, let us spread love, compassion, and acceptance to paint the world pink. In order to achieve this, we must continue to educate ourselves about different lived experiences and work towards unlearning any prejudiced beliefs we hold towards each other. As director, I am committed to joining you in this lifelong journey of learning and personal growth. Today and every day, let's demonstrate how love's roar drowns out the hollow whispers of hate, empowering us to collectively shape a better world. Thank you so much to everyone who made today possible, to the organizers of the International Day of Pink, to our student performers from Karen Kane and East York CI, and to the wonderful bakers from Eastdale who provided the cupcake like the one at my seat for us to enjoy. To our school teams who are marking this significant day as well with us, I applaud your resilience and unwavering belief in the transformative power of love, education, and respect, and the power it has on our schools and communities. Thank you very much, everyone, and it is now my pleasure to welcome Trustee Debbie King to share her reflections on this wonderful day.
Good morning. My name is Debbie King, and I am trustee for Ward 7, Parkdale High Park. I'm thrilled to join you for the International Day of Pink at TDSB and to bring greetings on behalf of the board. Day of Pink is all about standing in solidarity with our friends, families, and neighbors in 2S LGBTQIA+ communities, and standing up against bullying and discrimination, particularly in the form of homophobia and transphobia. It reminds us of everybody's right to show up as their true self comfortably every day. This includes over 4,800 TDSB students in grades 7 through 12 who identify as two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, intersex, asexual, gender nonconforming, or otherwise part of the community. And this day reminds us of the ongoing work needed to make sure that can happen. Gender expression, gender identity, and sexual orientation are protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code, which we have a duty to uphold. So, as a board, we have caring and safe policies, and we have anti-bullying guidelines that support our responsibility to create safe, inclusive spaces. Inclusivity is reflected in many ways. When an elementary student discovers the joy of reading through a drag storytime event, when a non-binary student participates freely in their favorite sport, and when a trans student here's their preferred name and pronoun while crossing the stage at graduation. These are just a few examples that we can reflect on. But acceptance is also reflected in the in-between moments, where a student can show up to class and thrive through their day without fear of harassment. And that's where we and you, all of us, come in. Policies stand up when we do. So, as we wear pink today, Let's reflect on our personal commitment to standing up against transphobia, homophobia, and bullying. To wrap up, I want to thank each and every one of the staff who worked hard to make today's event possible, as well as the students from East York Collegiate and Karen Kane School of the Arts. Thank you for your performances, and I hope everyone enjoys the incredible program ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee King, for your beautiful and impactful words. Our friends here over at East York Collegiate have been working tirelessly to share their talents with us today. I want to introduce you to a student at EYCI, Angeline. Angeline has written a monologue based on her life and experiences. It takes great courage to share your story, and we are incredibly grateful to you for sharing with us today. Angeline is accompanied by the students of music and dance at EYCI. Over to you guys.
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. I'm Angeline. I'm here to talk about inclusivity in the queer community. I've done a lot during my short time on this earth. I've played many sports, and I've chosen competitive swimming. I'm an athlete. If there's one thing I want you to remember me for, it's that. When I first came to EY, there were people I sort of knew from my brief time in middle school. But some people I felt drawn to, like flies to food or fees to a flower. I suspect it's because we were mostly all queer. The gaydar, I guess. I think sometimes even people who aren't queer can sense it. And honestly, that's been an issue in the past, for me personally, and for others. I remember when I was in grade 9, I was put in a co-ed gym class. I had made about 2 friends who also happened to be queer. We were called slurs, and we had projectiles flying towards our faces, left and right. My teacher had said that it was a joke, and because we were in a gym class, not because we were gay and they were homophobic. I had gone into that class hoping to be friends with other athletes, or just to make friends, but was met with hate and went home feeling like garbage.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
Last year, when I was in grade 10, I had made friends with this girl who was in a bunch of my classes. She was super nice, and we chatted all the time. I once very casually mentioned the fact that I was gay, and poof, she disappeared and never spoke a word to me after that. We all know why she dropped me like a bag of hot, juicy garbage. She requested to sit on the other side of the classroom when we had previously sat right next to each other. It's not like I fall madly in love with every girl that I see. I want friends, just like any other person. Is that so crazy?
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
Despite everything good in my life, being queer will always be a part of me. I don't think of it as being a massive deal, just like many other things in my life. I'm French, I'm Trini, I'm Canadian, I speak 2 languages. I like to watch nerdy movies like Star Wars. I do sports, and I'm gay. Those are things that are a part of me every day. And to some people, that teeny tiny part of me is weird, it's gross, it's wrong. Why? I live with it every day and I'm fine. Why can't they just accept it? It's not a disease that'll turn them gay. It's not contagious. They are making these decisions to hate and to exclude us.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
Is it really that big of a deal if someone decides to change a part of their bodies because they don't feel comfortable with it? What's the difference between a Kardashian getting a breast implant and a trans woman getting one? There are none. Both are to feel better in their bodies. Why is it so hard for people to include us in the media in a good way? Is it so hard not to ignore us when we speak? Is it so hard to include us in general?
And I can't change. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is kind. I'm crying on love is patient. I'm crying on love is kind. I'm crying on love is patient. I'm crying on love is kind. I'm crying on love is patient. I'm crying on love is kind. I'm crying on love is patient. Love is kind.
So I'm a professional communicator and I'm a little bit speechless right now. That was incredible and moving and personal. Thank you so much for that. Can you tell me a little bit about your monologue and how it came to be and the process and working with your friends at the school?
Yeah, of course. No, so I was approached with this idea by my drama teacher, Mr. Nolan, who I've worked with last year as well. And yeah, I thought it was an amazing opportunity to be able to share my voice along with other people's voices. So I spent a long time, thinking of ideas and what I wanted to share specifically with people. And it was a big elimination process, but we figured it out, and we spent time thinking of songs that we could use. And then we had a bunch of rehearsals with all my friends and stuff, and it was really good to get together and figure this out. Yeah.
Amazing. It was a beautiful performance. There's so many kids watching today across the TDSB. What's your message to them?
My biggest message, I think, is just to continue in so many different aspects, continue pushing for, acceptance and for our voices to be heard, because we're in 2024 and there's still so much work to be done, and it's something that we can work on every day.
And what can kids do?
Yeah, you can do so much. I mean, I think the first thing is standing up. It makes you uncomfortable, but it's the right thing to do, because if you stand up for yourself and you stand up for others, you're letting your voice be heard, and you're making people feel more comfortable with themselves and in the space, and that's really what we want. So yeah,
Thank you so much.
of course, thank you.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce two members of the Toronto Police Service Community Partnership and Engagement Unit. Please welcome Police Constable Cheryl Taylor, who is the TPS 2S LGBTQ+ liaison, and Staff Superintendent Lisa Crooker.
Hello all, I am Constable Cheryl Taylor and I'm the 2S LGBTQ+ liaison for Toronto Police Service. Until the age of 8, I grew up in Chicago. In grade 3, my family moved to a small town in southern Ontario, and I had to go to a new school. I was bullied because of the accent that I had, and also because my family didn't make a lot of money, so often I showed up in school with hand-me-downs from my brother. So I was never in the latest style or fashion. Kids would make fun of me for that. And at that age, I already knew I was queer. I definitely did not feel safe enough to tell anyone for fear of being bullied even more. In fact, I was so afraid, I didn't come out until my late 20s. Today, as a liaison officer, one of the things I do is speak within schools to advocate for the kids that know themselves to be within the queer community. I speak about gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation. They are protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code. I work within the schools to support GSAs so that 2S LGBTQ+ kids and allies have a safe place to go where they can be supported as their authentic selves. Teachers, if this is something you would like in your schools, please reach out to me. You can email me at 9990@tps.ca. Lastly, as an adult, I understand that bullying is not an act of strength. It is an act of weakness and insecurity. Pointing out the differences of others to redirect attention from yourself. If you are being bullied, please tell a trusted adult like your parents or your teacher. You can even tell a friend. If you have a cell phone, you can text the word connect to 686868, and this will connect you with a kid's helpline. You do not have to go through this alone. I'm also here with Lisa Crooker, who is a superintendent with the Toronto Police Service and is also our senior advisor to our Pride Internal Support Network.
Thank you, Cheryl. And I just wanted to, on behalf of the Toronto Police Service, thank the Toronto District School Board for inviting us. We have been included in this event for many years. I myself have made it a point to always be available on this day. It's such an incredibly important day, and what an honor to be here with Brunswick 4 and bring these relationships together. So please, to all the kids listening, continue to be yourself. Continue to be proud of who you are and continue to stand up for what's right. Thank you, and everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Police Constable Cheryl Taylor and Staff Superintendent Lisa Crooker. So, unfortunately, Mayor Chow was not able to join us today, but I think you'll love the message that she sent to all of us here at the TDSB. So let's have a look.
Nothing more beautiful than being who you truly are. On this day of pink, let's celebrate visibility in all its forms. It's important to be seen acknowledged, respected, and listened to stand tall and strong and embrace our true selves, to raise our voices for those who need our support the most. Toronto is a city where everyone is welcomed, where we all care for each other. That's true every day, but especially today. You see that Toronto sign at City Hall and CN Tower will both be pink tonight. As mayor, I want to say thank you to everyone who's participating in Day of Pink today. Students, teachers, staff, parents. Schools must be spaces that everyone feels welcome, and today is about making that a reality. Let's make it happen together.
Thank you. Thank you to Mayor Chow for sending us that beautiful message. So it is now my pleasure, my distinct pleasure, to welcome Adrian and Lamar to the stage, who are two of the Brunswick Four. I'm not sure how many of you know the story of the Brunswick Four, and I'm not going to tell, we're going to have it in their own words, but it's been 50 years since the incident at the Brunswick happened, and that was an incident that really changed the conversation and brought to the forefront a discussion about the rights of lesbians and queers right across Canada. And it all came to be as a result of a song. But I think I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let you tell your story and maybe even hear the song.
Yeah.
We need to stand up.
Oh, go right ahead.
To stand up.
So, full disclosure, we would like to talk about the word dyke. People perceive, some people, not many, that it's a bad word because it was originally used as a derogatory term for not just lesbian women, but all women. Men would use it to put you in your place so that you didn't step out. And we reclaimed it many years ago. And even though we reclaimed it, like men reclaimed the word queer, it now is being perceived again by people like Facebook as a bad word, so they suspend your account for weeks on end. But I can assure you that the lesbian and gay community have great respect for the word dyke.
There are dykes on bikes.
Yep.
There are dyke marches. There are dykes everywhere. And 50 years ago, we were happy to call ourselves dykes because it meant that we were not fitting into that very tight structure that surrounds women about how you should act and how you should look and how you should respond. We were not doing that. We were saying we were dykes, and that indicated that we were not going to participate in those tight roles.
And there was another issue going on. There was a big schism between the gay movement and the lesbian feminist movement because we were fighting for very different things. Lesbian women would have their children taken away from them. Can you imagine? Gay men wanted to fight not to be charged with gross indecency. We wanted better access to the glass ceiling. We wanted the opportunity to get paid equal pay for equal work. And that was the lesbian feminist movement.
So I was the coordinator of the Women's Center, the newly formed Women's Center in Toronto. And Pat Murphy, who is no longer with us, was the coordinator of the Gay Center. There were many differences, there was animosity, and I decided to call up the Gay Center and suggest that Pat bring her girlfriend, and I bring my girlfriend, who at the time was Adrian, and we have dinner. And perhaps we could become friends, and maybe we could stop fighting over the things that everyone seemed to be fighting about. So we went to dinner. We had a great time. When dinner was over and the restaurant closed, we didn't want to stop. So we decided to go next door to the Brunswick Tavern and have a beer. When we walked into the Brunswick Tavern, it was amateur night. You could get up on the stage and you could sing. So we did. We asked the piano player if she knew how to play I Enjoy Being a Girl, which is a terrible sexist song from a very old musical. And she did know how to play that song.
So we sang our song.
Which is, when I see a man who's sexist and he does something I don't like, I just tell him that he can. 'Cause I enjoy being a dyke. I won't dress up cute and frilly in clothing that I don't like. I'll just strut in my jeans and stompers, 'cause I enjoy being a dyke. I'm a fully lesberated woman. I work for the revolution now. I struggle and I cuddle with my sisters. And I don't need a man to show me how. I've always been an uppity woman. I refuse to run, I stand and strike. 'Cause I'm gay and I'm proud and angry. And I enjoy being a dyke.
So
we didn't really finish the song with the microphones because they pulled the plug after the first dyke. But we finished the song.
And then they dragged us off the stage. And the manager eventually came over to our table and said, you have to leave. You have to drink your beer and leave. Well, the whole audience was cheering. They were all U of T guys. And they started sending us beer. We had so much beer, we couldn't possibly finish our beer and leave.
We would have been there for a week if we had to finish all that beer.
So then, off in the corner, we saw the police. And we thought, I wonder why they're here. Wonder what happened.
Well, it became clear that they were there for us. And they came and they got us and they picked us up physically and they took us outside and threw us into a paddy wagon. Now, paddy wagons at that time were more like an amusement ride. If they went fast, you slid to the back. And when they stopped quick, you slid to the front. So we did that all the way to the police station.
So we arrived at 14 Division, into the garage, and they told us to get out and sit on a bench. They went inside and tried to figure out what to charge us with, because as you are possibly aware, there is no criminal code offense for singing a song. They couldn't figure it out.
So after a while, maybe an hour and a half, they came out and said, okay, you can go. For some unknown reason, I said, no, we're not going. Because we wanted witnesses, we wanted a phone call, we knew that what had just happened was not right, and we wanted to pursue that. So once again, they picked us up and threw us out the back of the garage into the snowbanks. They punched Adrian in the face, and the last thing they said to us was, don't go back to the Brunswick Tavern.
And that's exactly what we did.
We needed witnesses. We had a case. We went back to the Brunswick Tavern, and of course, they were waiting for us because they knew we were going to do that. So as we're going down the hallway, they were coming up the hallway, but this time it's plainclothes policemen. They're coming up, push us outside, and put us in police cars. But first, they smashed Adrian's head against the car, which irritated me. And I was teaching a self-defense class for women. And what we're telling women to do, if someone has your arms behind you, like they had my arms, you stomp on their foot, you give them a reinforced elbow in the stomach, and they let you go. I did that. He let me go. He grabbed me again, but he did let me go.
So when we got to the police station, we were taken to the second floor to the detectives area, and one by one, we were thrown down a 25-foot hallway. We were then beaten up. I had a gun put to my head. I had heroin thrown into my lap, and we were told that they could do anything they wanted. police, people were looking for us, so they phoned, and one of the detectives said, "No, they're not here," and I yelled, "Help." At a police station, I was yelling, "Help." Eventually, we were charged with cause of disturbance. We needed to get a lawyer.
So we called the Right Honorable Judy LaMarche, who was now a professor at York University. And we made an appointment to go and talk with her, and the first thing she told us was, "I do not practice law anymore, I am a professor." Okay, can we tell you our story? All right, tell me your story. So we did. When we got to the part of the police brutality, she snapped her pencil in half and said, "I detest police brutality. I will take this case. But if there are any demonstrations in the courtroom of any kind, I'm walking out." I needed clarity on that. I said, okay, if we wear t-shirts that say, "I enjoy being a dyke," would you consider that a demonstration? Yes, she said, I would. Okay. Well, if all of our supporters, because we knew it was going to be packed, were wearing t-shirts that say, "I enjoy being a dyke," would you consider that to be a demonstration? No, I would not. So the day of our trial, the courtroom is full of people. They're all wearing shirts that say, "I enjoy being a dyke." And Judy LaMarche is there to save us.
In the end, it went on for a long, long time. It was in the papers every single day. It was a pivotal moment that brought the gay movement and lesbian feminists together. It was much like Stonewall. But in the end, everyone was found not guilty except me, because I had charged a police officer with assault. And that was a separate trial. And when it came up, they assigned a prosecutor to the trial that was about 2'9" and didn't want to really be involved and did nothing. And then it turned out that I had charged the wrong police officer, because in those days they didn't have their names, they just had numbers on their hats. So they had all exchanged hats after they beat us up.
Before.
Yeah. And so we were really upset, because clearly they were just going to get away with what they did.
So at the trial, where the police are actually on trial for assault, it's not going well. We're not happy about it all. They're saying we're standing on tables with pitchers of beer over our heads. They're saying all kinds of things that are not true. We start fussing around because we don't quite know what to do, but we know that this isn't right. So the judge calls a recess, hoping everybody will get themselves together. And when they say, "Order in the court, all rise," we just simply didn't get up. They did it again. We still didn't get up. And now we are arrested for contempt of court, and we are taken downstairs to jail. The police are on trial, but we are in jail once again.
The press is down there saying, "We have never seen anything like this," while we're standing in a cell. And we were there for quite a while over lunch, and they fed
And we
us.
were told that we had to apologize. Well, we weren't really excited about apologizing, because we didn't feel like we had done anything. So we went back up, and the judge dealt with the contempt issue first. He called me to the stand. I thought, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? What's going to happen? And he looked at me and said, "Do you realize that by not standing for this court, you were showing disrespect for Her Majesty the Queen?" Well, we love queens, and we were raging feminists. We would never show disrespect for the Queen.
We love queens.
So I got to say, "Oh, Your Honor, we were not intending to show disrespect to Her Majesty the Queen. We were trying to show disrespect for that idiot of a prosecutor over there who is doing nothing." And then, one by one, everybody came up and said that, and we had to sit in the prisoner's box. There were too many of us to fit in the prisoner's box, because some of our friends had also been arrested for contempt of court. So now we have lesbians sitting on each other's laps in the prisoner's box.
It was so much fun.
And we did enjoy those moments. But in the end, of course, the police were found not guilty, we were found guilty of contempt of court, and we were fined.
And that's how it went. But now, things are remarkable. I am so happy to be here. I am blown away. I mean, I actually cried after that last performance. I never dreamed in my wildest dreams that this would happen, that kids would get to be who they want to be, whatever that is, however they conceive of themselves, that these bright young kids would get the opportunity to live a good life. And that's all we want for people, and that's all we've ever wanted.
And we are also completely blown away that there have been huge changes in the Toronto Police Department.
Yeah, I
We
love
love
these
that.
two. Give it up for those two women.
Yeah. So that's our story.
And we thank you for the opportunity to come here and be part of this great celebration.
I can't leave though today before I ask you, just there's thousands of kids watching today. Leave them with a message. What's the most important thing to know?
I think the most important thing to know is be yourself and be kind to the people around you. And if you see something happening that you think is not good, tell someone or step in and with respect, attempt to make it change. Because unity is where the power is. If you guys can stick together, it's good. It's good.
Don't stay quiet. Act. Talk to your teacher. Talk to the principal. If something has happened to you, don't stay silent. Speak up. Be yourself. Love yourself. Be kind to others. And you're going to have an amazing life.
Thank you. Thank you. Incredible. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Adriana Lamar, for sharing the story and its impact and how grateful we are that things have changed and changed for the better. As we come to the end of our live webcast today, I'd like to welcome the grade 6, 7, and 8 students from the wonderful, wonderful Karen Kane School of the Arts. Oh, okay. So these guys have been working so hard on their presentation, their performance, and we are really looking forward to hearing This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But don't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Harsh words would have cut me down. Stand fire in a drown down. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who This is me. Whenever the words wanna cut me down, I'll stand up live to drown a man.
That was incredible. Once again, I'm speechless. A huge thank you to all of you and to all of your incredible teachers. By the way, those lovely and incredible messages that you're seeing behind you, that's also Karen Kane School of the Arts, grade 7. So I'm magnificent. Thank you to Adrian Lamar for the Brunswick 4. Thank you to the TDSB Pink team. There's Kevin Doe over there from York Mills Collegiate. He's the ACL and the director today. Melanie Pierce and Jim Spiropoulos, who I always come to with crazy ideas, and they believe in me. And our friends at the International Day of Pink, Jeremy Diaz, who have supported TDSB for many, many years. And last but not least, where are our friends from Eastdale Collegiate who made their culinary students made some incredible pink cupcakes today for our students to enjoy. We're a little early, but that's amazing. Thank you all for being with us today. Wear your pink shirts, everybody, loud and proud. At the TDSB, we value inclusion, respect, love, allyship. That's what we're about. So wear your pink shirts today with pride. And again, be kind to each other. Thank you, everyone.